who have definitely had a huge impact on my life, be it family, entertainment industry, business, learning how to navigate life, and just understanding how to be a man and how to be a good man at that. I want to celebrate, firstly, Wendell Manwaran from Tricanal, one of my mentors, who definitely played an important role in teaching me how to navigate this industry and how to navigate, artistry, culture, and business as well. I also want to take a moment to say a special salute going out to my uncle Stephen Jackman, who's definitely shown me how to be a man when it comes to family life and how to be able to relate to children, grandchildren, wife, etc., etc., and for being the example that I definitely needed. And last but certainly not least, my very own father, Mr. John Remy. I want to say thank you, gentlemen, very, very much for everything that you've shown me over the years. And I'm going to end off with a quote from my father that will stay with me till the end of time. My father always told me, A for apple, B for bat, and C for yourself. Happy International Men's Day.
And welcome back to the Now Morning Show. And that quote and those words espoused by Rokas, it leads very beautifully into our next conversation, because an International Men's Day conference under the theme Positive Role Models for Men is on this Saturday, 18th November at the Spiritual Baptist Administrative Complex. Now, to speak to that a little more, we have King Shepherd Ray M.S. Brathwaite and Apostolic Bishop Andre D. Francis. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. And I want to start off with you, please, King Shepherd. If this conference is an answer, what is the question?
Quo vadis, whither thou goest, meaning that we have been focused on the development of our men spiritually, but there are other aspects of living we need to pay attention to. And therefore, the necessity for the conference was triggered by that. It's our first, actually, our first celebration of International Men's Day in the Spiritual Baptist faith. And therefore, we have no comparison as a test piece to say, well, we have done it so before, and therefore we can modify it. So this is our inaugural.
Okay, and sometimes what is needed is that starter and putting that foot in front of the other.
To get it from inertia is always the challenge. But this one has moved very smoothly for us, given our history with the founder, Dr. Tillotson. We have known each other for many years in other areas where we did International Men's Day as well. And therefore it made the effort to put this together very, very, very easy.
Let me bring into the conversation, please, Bishop Francis. There's a blank slate, so there isn't anything that you're putting it against and comparing it to. With that in mind, what is the target audience that you're reaching out to and say, we want these people at this conference?
Well, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Basically, we have started with the actual men and young men within the actual archdiocese. So we have about 8 dioceses. And out of the ecclesiastical council, we have been able to come up with about 200 men. So we are starting with that, and we're hoping to bestow upon them the edification in terms of patience and endurance, social living, how to cope with living today, because it's not as easy as long time. I believe that long time we had a village that used to raise us up, and we had some core values that went into our lives. But the village has slowly dwindled away, and it also enters into the problems that we have in today. So this is our effort in restoration and making men feel wanted within the society, their worth into society, and they will look inside themselves in retrospection and see within themselves who they really are.
How possible is it to do this rounds when there's you talk about looking inside, but there's so many things on the outside that need attending to? It might be time for something, you need to meet this deadline, you're looking for something in your pocket, you're trying to find that. So how do you kind of...
But you have to make the first step.
Take that breath. Take that first step.
You have to make that first step, and this is the first step for us. We have a group of professionals present in different papers, and it will be the catalyst for where we go next. So we plan to focus on, in fact, one of your presenters today will be one of our featured speakers. So we'll be focused on some of the key issues required to be role models. So one, it will be a learning opportunity for those attending, but two, it would also say to them that they have a moral responsibility to assist those around them, because we will be having bishops, church leaders, reverends, the full mix of our people. So we did not target it at one level, but at all the levels for the multiplier effect going back into the churches.
I know you like to talk, King Shepherd, about Baptistness, but I like
I'm
to.
the king of Baptistness.
You understand? But I'm wondering though, is it that this first iteration, is it just that you want to start at home and possibly scale out? Is it something that is Baptist oriented, or is it just something that is being facilitated by the congregation?
No, actually, our facilitators, only two of the facilitators are of the faith.
Amen.
The others, and we are so happy. One is coming from Miss Sabbath, Dr. Oscar Ochu. He's one of the facilitators. Another one is Dr. Varma Diyal Singh, right? And he's well known as former independent senator and psychiatrist. We have Dr. Noel Richards, pastor and radio journalist, etc. And then, of course, you have we have the minister of the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for gender affairs. She will be making a presentation. And the Minister of Youth Development and National Development, Youth and National Service, he will be also presenting what he's doing in this ministry as alternatives for male modeling, plus the band of speakers that we have.
I don't think you could have keep him away if you tried. Until seeing that he's also the faith.
He's one of us.
Yes.
But permit me to just step back a bit and said that what is driving us is that we are from the Spiritual Baptist faith, expressed as the National Congress of Incorporated Spiritual Baptist Organizations of Trinidad and Tobago. We are led by Patriarch Wayne Jones, and his support is Deputy Patriarch Patrick Brown, and our community is led by the chairman, William Leon John, His Grace Archbishop. As Apostolic mentioned, we have a collection of archdioceses, 9 of the archdioceses, and each one is headed by an archbishop or equivalent. And that group forms itself into what is called the Archbishop's Council. And that Archbishop's Council together carry responsibility for nearly 243 churches. So it was a push to be able to get our population for this one. So what we had to do is just do the mathematical and say that each archdiocese will nominate at average of 18 persons, regardless of the size of the archdiocese, to make it easier for us. And therefore, on that basis, we were able to come up with our numbers for tomorrow.
And that also helps to spread the message a little further, because you have people coming from everywhere, literally scattering that when they go back. But
Yes.
it feels as though it's an ambitious undertaking, Bishop. But what are some of the things that, after the conference is finished, if these things happened, you said, yes, it was worth it, it's been a success?
Well, I will hope that all what is learned and experienced within the conference will not just remain in the conference, but they will take it further into the community. So that web will be spread out. And that's how we'll know when the effect will take place. Obviously, it will take some time because the information has to be spread out. But I would also like to say that we haven't waited for International Men's Day to do something about what is happening within Trinidad and Tobago. Me and Mr. Braffett have been going from prison to prison, doing our restorative work, trying to make sure that the men that is within the prison do not go in that revolving door and back into the prison. So we are there working with them and speaking with them, and all this could form part of the International Men's Day. We hope that one day that this conference will not just be among us, but it will spread eventually. So when this test case is over, we will know how to move in further endeavors.
And in terms of its spreading, we have about a minute. What is next? Because you said this is not the only thing you're doing.
Okay,
this
so-
is not the only thing you've been doing. I see King Shepherd. You're up yourself.
Well, yeah, because you just entered my door. And I mean my door, meaning that my own personal developmental background of people and those things. We have a spanking new administrative complex in Couva and Balmain, in the precincts of the Atobolan Stadium. And on the upper level is our conference room. And therefore, what will be happening very shortly will be workshops after workshops of different topics for the development of our people. And therefore, out of Saturday, we will have triggers of what next, and the plan will start and continue and implemented throughout. In fact, we already know that come January 6th, another workshop will be held focused on some of the offshoots of what we are doing on Saturday.
And with that, King Shepherd Brathwaite and as Apostolic Bishop Francis, we want to thank you very much. Bless you and your efforts. And we're looking to see those good things because, like you said, communities, villages are necessary. And Joseph Remy talks about homes in communities are very different from houses in areas. Yeah. So we're working towards the former, away from
a home is not a house, it's
latter.
much more than that. Yeah.
Definitely. But with that, we take a short break. Stay with us. The Now Morning Show continues after this.